Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to today's training. As you are coming in today, please just pop into the comments where you are in the world. We have people from all over. So we have friends in the UK, we have friends down under in Australia, South Africa, Canada, up in the US, where else? Caribbean, that's where I am, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So go ahead and just pop into the comments. Where are you in the world? We love to connect with you. We want to learn more about where you are and what you're doing. Some people have been posting pictures of the sunrises and the sunsets where they are, and I totally 100% encourage you to please do that. Please show up in this group just fully as yourself. This is a safe space. So in saying that, I really would love to welcome our new members of the group, and we just welcome you with big wide open arms, and we're so excited that you are here with us. So today's training is on overwhelm. I love this topic so much. I love this topic so much because I feel like a lot of my life up until probably the last 10, 15 years was kind of lived in overwhelm, right? So I often joke that I'm like an expert in overwhelm because I lived so much of my life in overwhelm. Hi, good morning. How are you? Is that Tina? How are you doing? So for those of you who are new to the trainings, there is a little link above my head that asks you to just give permission to StreamYard. And if you feel open to doing that, it just allows me to see your name when I see the comments coming in on StreamYard. Because although you're seeing this on Facebook, I'm actually seeing you and I'm using a different platform. It's called StreamYard. Yeah. Okay, cool, guys. So overwhelm. Let's dive into this today. So before we start, this is just a little game. I would love for you guys to, if you are feeling overwhelmed right now, right in this minute, just go ahead and put a little hand up or two hands up or a crazy emoji face or something into the comments and let us know. If you are feeling overwhelmed right now and you've turned up into this training like, I hear you, sister, I'm here to shift, I need to make this change, just go ahead and pop your hands up into the comments. And then, so go ahead and do that. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to do that. Yes, feeling overwhelmed. So this is a safe space. This group is amazing. We keep it this way. We actually work very hard to decide who comes into this group and to decide who, is allowed into the safe space, because we want you to feel comfortable, and we really need you to feel comfortable enough to get a little bit vulnerable and share your stuff with us so that you can make these drastic changes, make these shifts in your own life. So these trainings, every single week I'm showing up with these trainings for you just to help you to shift in different ways. Yes, okay, some of us are feeling a little bit overwhelmed today. All right, so whether you're feeling overwhelmed today, whether it was last night, whether it was this morning, I had a little bit of it creep in early this morning, which I managed to shift because of all of this. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing this. So whether you were, overwhelmed this morning like I was in the early hours, whether it was last night, whether you were feeling it last week, last month, or you're feeling it right now, you are here for a reason, and we are going to shift it. So let's talk about what is overwhelm, what even is it, and how can we understand it, really acknowledge it, and then kiss it goodbye. And I say kiss it goodbye instead of, like, in my mind, it's like a football and I'm just like booting it. Does anyone else feel like that too? But I say kiss it goodbye because we really do want to love all aspects of ourselves, right? When we talk about, and I talk about this a lot, showing up in our authentic self versus our conditioned self, and we're really going to dive into that a little bit more today. when I talk about showing up in all our authenticity, it's showing up in all the versions of us, right? In all the parts of us, and really allowing them all to come to the surface so we can see them really clearly and say, okay, this is working for me, this is not working for me. And then kissing goodbye, with love, the parts of us that we would like to shift and change. Who else sees the football? Go ahead and put a football or a ball into the comments if you see the overwhelm like a football, booting it away. Good morning. Hi, Tina. How are you? Hi, Sharon. How are you doing? All right, so let's dive into this training. So as you guys know, overwhelm and the feelings of overwhelm, a lot of this has been coming up for me in the last month because one, I've been feeling bits and pieces coming in and I've had to shift them. I've had to show up in my power in different ways and different places over the last month that I hadn't done, in recent months. So there's that. And then also there's just this ability that we can have to keep moving despite what's going on around us, and to keep moving in our power, and to keep moving with ease and with grace and even with fun, despite things happening around us that would normally pull us down. So as you guys know, if you've been following me, you've been following my post, you know that the volcano erupted on St. Vincent. That was on the 9th of last month. So the homes lost, people and animals facing many challenges, many people on the ground, doing work to really help the country. So, there are so many reasons. The reason why I'm telling you this is because there were so many reasons for me to have become really scattered, really overwhelmed, and even thrown in the towel over the last month, right? And just like you all, life can be full, but life can also be fun, right? So I can look at it like I'm juggling babies and a home and a volcanic eruption and then torrential rain and flooding. There are people and animals still in need, a lot of them. There are friends and family that also needed, part of my time. And I was wanting to do it all, but knowing that I couldn't possibly do it all. And so that can feel, overwhelming in itself. So I'm sharing this with you because most of my life, I think I did life from like this really dizzy kind of place. I was locked into martyr energy a lot of the time. I ran in circles, really people pleasing. Much of my day, I never really accomplished anything from this energy of focus and ease and expansion. And it took me so long to get to where I am today, where I can see and feel everything that's going on around me, but I have the ability to shift it. And so for you guys, I want you to get through this and get to that part a lot quicker than I did. And so I really want to share with you, I want to share all the tools and techniques that I've learned over the years. But today I really want to share with you some stepping stones to get you moving forward. So if there's a reason why you currently feel like you're overwhelmed, go ahead and pop it into the comments, because what we're going to talk about now firstly is just awareness, just bringing this stuff to the surface. Like so often when these emotions come up, we're like, press it back down. You can push that stuff back down, because who wants to feel that, right? So we'll talk about that moving forward as well. Hello, as you're coming in. Hi, and good morning. Good morning. So many of you in this group have big visions, right? You guys are visionaries. You are leaders. You really do desire to take the reins of your own life, right? You either have businesses already, or you are stepping up into new careers, or you're wanting to step out of where you are and into something new. So whatever it is for you, wherever you are at right now, there is a whole life beyond the one that you are living currently, and you see it and feel it so clearly. Those are the people that are like really drawn to this group and get so much out of these trainings. So you want more because you are more, right? And of course you deserve more. So if you're in this group, in this training, if you feel aligned with what I share in here, you're already rising. You're already going to that next level. You're already hitting that next level of you, whether it's all unfolding, you know, as you think it should be, or whether you see it or not at this point, you are going there. And we want you to go there from this place of grounding and this place of power, and to really make it easy and make it fun for you. That is why I show up in here every single week. Okay, so what even is overwhelm? I would like to share this. Felt like this a day ago. Went back to the meditation you sent me and felt better. Still dealing with things. Healing takes time. Yes, I so feel you and I so hear you. And I just love that you know where to go, right? You know what works to help you shift. And we'll talk about meditation and breathing in just a minute as well. And so what even is overwhelm? So overwhelm is a state of mind. And I have to share this. You guys probably already know this, but I have to remind those conditioned parts of you what is happening. So overwhelm is a state of mind. We create our state of mind, right? We create the overwhelm. And so it is only us. It is only up to us, and it is really only you. Where we were at is we really want to really start to notice, right? We want to start becoming really, really aware of what is happening. I'm going to ask you these 3 questions that is really going to get you thinking and able to start shifting as well. So I mentioned the definition of overwhelm. Did you guys get that? And just that, you know, sometimes we can be experiencing an incredible amount of thought processing, and it can feel just all encompassing and as though there is no way out. Have you ever gotten to that point? Thumbs up, put a thumbs up into the comments if you've ever gotten to that point where you kind of feel so overwhelmed by everything that you feel like blocked, like there's almost like this energetic block that you can't get out of. So put thumbs up in there if you have felt that way. Okay, awesome. So in one of my posts yesterday, you guys didn't get the definition. So I shared like one of the definitions of overwhelm was to bury or drown beneath a huge mass of something, which actually makes me feel really thought processes, those sometimes really that can make us feel that way. So popping thumbs up in the comments if you've ever felt that way. So in one of my posts yesterday, I mentioned this, you know, 3-part system, or this system that we use to reduce overwhelm and to almost eliminate it from our life, right? It's what I have used in my life personally, and it's what we use inside the Rejuvenate program. So today I'm going to ask you these 3 questions that come from and relate directly to the tools that I share in the program, right, to help you to really move out of your overwhelm. Yes. Okay, you guys. I just want to make sure that we're doing really well here with internet. I'm so confused why I got a bit plugged out there. Not sure. So just pop a thumbs up. Oh yeah, okay, I've got thumbs up. Okay. Cool, man. Just keep popping some thumbs up right now if it's all good. So the first question that I want you guys to ask yourself today is, which mode are you in? Which mode are you operating in? So we need to become aware of the 2 modes that we are literally always operating in, one or the other, right? And power comes from awareness. So I want you guys just to bring like this gentle awareness to the table. And we're going to talk a little bit about our inner relationship and what goes on, you know, at a deeper level when we are feeling, you know, really quite overwhelmed. Okay, so obviously we have a really complex brain. Our minds can feel really complex. We're a complex system, like we're a complex being, right? And there are so many factors that affect the way that we feel, whether or not, you know, we play out in overwhelm or we don't play out in overwhelm. So for so many years now, I have been like really watching myself closely, like what time I go to bed, what time I get up, how much sleep I'm getting, what my posture is doing, how I'm breathing, what triggers me, what makes me sad, what makes me happy, what makes me wired, what makes me tired, all of these things, and have really begun to understand my body, like to a point that I feel like on most days I can manage it. But when we look at like what we're doing in a day, sometimes it's consistent, sometimes it's not consistent. And the only one thing that I have really found that was able to really stop me in my tracks when I would go down this path of overwhelm, and that really allowed me to shift out of overwhelm consistently and continuously and consciously throughout the day, is having this deep understanding of the two modes that I'm operating in. So those are the conditioned self and the authentic self. And I talk about them quite a bit in the group because they really are the foundational principle of everything that I share in here in this group. So when I first learned these methods, and I really got a grasp of the tools and the techniques to really go with them, and I became aware of how I was operating, honestly, my whole world changed. My whole life changed. So I want to break these down for you so you can get an idea today of these different modes and where you are currently operating from, where you're moving from in daily life. So Rebecca, can you just pop a thumbs up into the comments, because I'm not seeing comments at the moment. Just let me know that everything is fine, please. Okay, cool. You just did that. Thanks. Okay, so let's break the conditioned self down. Actually, we'll break them both down, the conditioned self and the authentic self. So the conditioned self is, we're most often in our left brain when we're in our conditioned self. We're not always in our left brain. We do switch, left, right brain as we move throughout the day. And quite often we can stay in our authentic self or in our conditioned self, but more than, I would say almost always, if we're in our conditioned self, very likely that we're going to be more in our left brain. So which mode we are in really does depend highly on how the physical body is operating. So in the conditioned self, you'll find more tension in the body. You'll find more aches and pains. I often, share that when I'm in my authentic self, I don't feel pain, like all those little aches and niggles or tension, headaches, all of that comes when I'm in my conditioned self. I am pain-free when I'm in my authentic self. So that's something to look out for as well. Just how are you feeling tension in the body? Where are you feeling aches and pains in the body as well? And then the second layer to this is that there is this mindful awareness that also helps us to shift, right? So we need to use both. We need to use the physical shifts, and I'm going to share with you about the body balancing component in a minute. So we need to shift the physical, but we also need to shift the emotional as well. And once we can shift both of those, we are going to be moving out of overwhelm. So for me, sometimes I would be so caught in, overwhelm or whatever you want to call it. And I was trying to shift, say, only the mental aspect, shift my thoughts, try and sit in meditation, try and do so many different things. Or I was just shifting the physical. So I would go and exercise, or, I would do, say, some form of physical movement without the real emotional shifts that needed to come as well. So I needed to shift both. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this as we break this down. But having a look at where are you currently, so you can just go ahead and put an A or a C into the comments. Are you currently in your authentic self, or are you currently in your conditioned self? And you may find that if you were in your conditioned self when you started, you will shift as we go through this training as well. So I'm just going to share with you, if we're in our conditioned self, we are more in fearful thinking, right? We may be more inclined to move toward dependencies or feelings of needing to be dependent. We might be holding back. So when we look at chakras, our heart might not be completely open, or our power center might not be completely open. So we look at posture. We might be, rounding the shoulders, feeling tension in the body. Procrastination is a big one with the conditioned self. Isolating oneself also. So when we're like chronically in our conditioned self, we tend not to want to be as social. We might be feeling like a victim. We might be feeling like, the world, things are happening to us and not for us. When we look at the physical body, we might find our breath is very constricted. So to take a deep breath might feel quite challenging. We have a lot of worry thoughts or just negative thinking. A lot of that self-talk toward yourself might be quite harsh in the conditioned self. And then, oh, yay, I love seeing so many A's in there. And then with the authentic self, this is when we're showing up and we feel so confident and we feel sure. So it's faith and surety, right? We're more likely to practice self-love and self-care in terms of the way that we talk to ourselves, in terms of the way that we actually show up for ourselves, even if that's just drinking water, bare essentials, eating some nutritious food and getting enough sleep. We are more likely to take consistent action. We actually feel like we have so much more energy when we're in our authentic self. We reach out and get support more when we're in our authentic self. So the conditioned self is a little bit more closed off, like that won't work. It's not going to work for A, B, or C. You might be halfway through this training and be like, oh, I'm just going to close it down. Doesn't relate to me. So conditioned self, right? And it's trying to hold you back. It's trying to keep you where you are. And so it's a protective mechanism, but to be able to shift, we need to be aware of it so that we're not always listening to it, right? So in our authentic self, our body might feel more relaxed, more open, shoulders might be back, heart space feels open, really feeling more empowered. We can take those deep belly breaths, and we tend to be more self-focused. So what I mean by that is we're more focused on where we're going now, right? Rather than what he's doing or she's doing or, comparing ourselves to others outside of us. So go ahead and pop into the comments. Are you currently in your authentic self, or have you been in your authentic self quite a bit already this week? Or have you noticed that you're more in your conditioned self? Yes. More energy is a great factor. Something that you have found, Tina, is that when you're in your authentic self that you feel like you have more energy. That's so great. That is just one benefit to consistently, keep shifting. Okay, so the second question that I have for you is, are you playing? Are you playing? Playfulness, and if you were in your conditioned self, you're going to probably find that it begins to shift now. Playfulness is almost the quickest way back to the authentic self. So we often talk about gratitude, being so high up the vibrational scale that, it's impossible to be in anxiety and gratitude at the same time. If we can hit that gratitude mark, we shift. But really, if we can play in both the physical and the emotional, as we were talking before, it's very often the quickest way back to the authentic self. So play engages both the body and the mind, right? And I want to read you a quote by the beautiful Dr. Brené Brown. And she says, let me read it because I might not get it perfect. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. How beautiful is that? I have goosebumps. And so are you playing? Are you playing in your day? Are you showing up in that, inner child, the really who really just wants to play? The conditioned self will come up and say, oh, I don't have time for that. There are a lot more important things to do than play, Marissa. So when we use emotional shifts with the physical shifts, we get rapid results. So that's why we want to play. We want to dance using affirmations. We want to get down with the kids. Like, one thing that I've been doing lately is when I take the kids to the playground, I notice that sometimes I start policing the playground like I'm being a parent. And so what I've been doing lately is taking the kids to the playground and being the child, right? So just getting really excited that I'm at the playground and then just playing with the boys. And so as a parent, especially, I think sometimes we can show up in parent mode and begin policing things. And so, I've just been really letting it all go and then just showing up and having a good time for me too, right? And it's been so great. Yes, you love that quote. Yes, we will put that quote on the in the Rise group. And so when we talk about body balancing, so this is one of the modules of the Rejuvenate program, is body balancing. And actually we have the half-day workshop on Friday, and I'm bringing in some of the 3 modules of the Rejuvenate program. I'm actually bringing in a lot of information for you guys. So one of the techniques we use in the Rejuvenate program is similar to a triad technique, where we use physical movement, emotions, and positive language, positive affirmation. And that's why I say dance with your affirmations. Like, turn up the music and dance and be like, I am whatever it is for you. I am powerful. I am hilarious. I am playful. And just allow yourself to really play in these 3 categories, or even just the physical and the emotional, right? But as we're talking about affirmations, let's dive into language a little bit, right? So what we say really matters. What comes out really matters. So our cells are listening. The cells of our body are listening. We are made up mostly of water. And if you guys have, read any of Dr. Emoto's books, we know that water can be manipulated through energy. And not just water, but, even down to the cellular makeup of us, of our being. So when we are reiterating to ourselves and others, right, that we're in overwhelm, or that we're very scattered this week, or we're busy, this is a good one. We'll talk more about being busy in a minute, or that we have so much to do. Does anyone ever say that? Do you guys ever say that? Oh, I have so much to do and I just can't get there. So, or maybe that we're overwhelmed. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. So just remembering that our cells hear that. They actually feel that, right? That overwhelm. And so notice when you're feeling scattered or flustered or worried or panicked or jittery, and the words that you begin to use when you're in these states. So go ahead and pop into the comments, like, what is something that's coming up for you? I used to use the term head mess. I would be like, man, I'm in a real head mess today. But I was affirming that my head was messy, right? That my thoughts were messy, and boy, they were. And so I had to really catch myself. And when people ask me, like, how are you? I sent a training to one of my clients on this piece this week. But when I was asked, how are you? How are you, Marissa? I would respond, oh, I am so busy, but I'm good. Like, I'm good. All's well. I'm just so busy. Right? So I actually removed that word from my vocabulary completely. I removed it. And now if there is a lot going on around me, which sometimes there is a lot going on around me, so I'm not turning blind to that, and saying life is always easy and nothing's going on and everything's cool, even though it's nice to affirm that. But if I want to show up really honestly, I say my life is full at the moment, and it is fun. It's full and it's fun. And it's full because I have 2 beautiful boys, and it's full because, we're out on the ground helping people, and it's full because I have a beautiful business with amazing clients in it. And all of that is fun for me. So I also use this mantra, everything is better when I slow down. You are welcome to take it. Everything is better when I slow down. And I noticed this, along my journey, that when I would be in the overwhelm, nothing was working out for me. It didn't take me anywhere really great. But when I was able to slow and get focused and find the clarity and the white space, all kinds of amazing things started to happen. So I began using that mantra. So one thing you can do today is to shift your language. Find a word or a phrase, that is really affirming your overwhelm or affirming something that you don't want to feel, and just swap it out. So write something in the comments. Let me know, what is something that you say to yourself or that you say to others, and what are you going to swap it for? Swap it out. So we're going to go more into this in the half-day workshop on Friday, because I share with you more from this module, body balancing. I'm going to give you specific tools and techniques and so much stuff. So, okay, so I want to see where you guys are at, and then we'll get on to question number 3. Yes, always saying lots of things, never completing things through the day. Yes, yes, yes. Can't wait for Friday's workshop. Yes, so excited that you are coming. Okay, so the third question is, are you going within? Are you going within? And the conditioned self resists this like there's nothing else. I mean, the conditioned self does not want to go there, does not want to take time to self-care, to run a bath with rose petals. I have too much to do, okay? So are you going within? Are you self-caring? Are you healing? Are you doing the inner work that we need to do to get you to the next level? So there are so many things that we can shift, right, to feel better. So we can have thought patterns that aren't serving us, tendencies that go with those, and behaviors that go with those, deeper belief systems, even paradigms of beliefs, that have been around for a long time, maybe since we were children. There are even generational patterns that go back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 generations that we pick up. So in the workshop, we go through the workbook, right? You're going to have your own workbook. So you can figure out, the exciting part of this is that you get to figure out what needs to be shifted within. Because at the moment, you might not know. You might feel like something needs to shift. Yeah, it could be some thought patterns, or it could be a belief system, or it could be a generational pattern. I know my mum did that too. But you might not be able to really pinpoint it. So we pinpoint exactly what needs to go. What inner talk also needs to go. And it could just, sometimes it's stagnant energy that needs to go, right, at a cellular level. So when we have trauma or we have experiences in our life that we move through, often they're held in the body. They're held in the physical body. Sometimes we also begin, playing out patterns in the conditioned self, which keep us stuck. So it could be certain behaviors that you notice. You might notice certain patterns, but not be able to shift out of them. Busy is a good one, right? Because busy is a protective measure that the conditioned self uses. To-do lists. Who has 1,000 to-do lists? Put your hand up into the comments if you have a lot of to-do lists. I was like the to-do list queen, and so was my mom. We had a lot of lists, and come to think of it, my granny had a few too. So slowing down, yes, exactly. So these are all conditioned parts of us, right, that are trying to control something, control some aspect of us, and they're possibly resisting doing the healing or doing the work that needs to be done moving forward. And we were joking the other day, our team, saying, it's the people that don't have time to come to the workshop that we really need to come to the workshop, right? Because the conditioned self really holds us captive in this overwhelm, in this busy, in this scattered thinking. And without the focus and the clarity and the white space and the creativity, how can we jump to there? How can we get to where we really want to go in our big vision? So sometimes it's just as little as actually feeling emotions, to be able to shift them through your body. So in the workshop, we actually go through a breath work technique where I share with you how to write everything down, and then we actually do breath work around it to release it and shift it. So I'm calling this a little healing circle that we're doing sort of in the last quarter or the last third of the workshop, where we really pinpoint emotions, patterns, things that need to go, really to help you to find that freedom, right, from the overwhelm, and help you to release those through the session. So even just the breath can reduce our heart rate. Certain breathing patterns can shift energy from the body at a cellular level, promote healing. Other breath techniques can actually balance the heart and the brain and put them in sync. Sharon, I think I shared a meditation with you that was like a heart set meditation. So we're going to talk more about this and go into a lot more, detail. So it's a small group, the workshop. It's I'm really keeping it very, very small. And the reason for that is because we do the free 5-day workshop every couple of months, and I'm able to bring a lot of information in there, but I'm really not able to support you one-on-one. And so the reason for the half day is that I really get to bring in the best of the best tools, share them with you, and then support you. So you get one-on-one access to me and messaging outside of the workshop too as you're going through your workbook, so that I can really support you to make these, big shifts. Oh, hello. This way, so we have an immersive experience, right? And we get way more out of it. With the 5-day workshop, we have so many people coming in that I just can't possibly reach you all as much as I want to. I just don't reach everybody. And then there's a small price point for the half-day workshop, and the reason for that is because we're pulling in information from the Rejuvenate program, right, which is thousands of dollars that people pay for that. So there has to be a price point on it, but it's a very low price point. So Rebecca is going to go and just pop the link to the half-day workshop for Friday into the comments if you're feeling called to it. It is going to be epic. I've actually never done anything like this before, where I've pulled information out of the Rejuvenate program and made it into this little immersive experience. It's going to be totally awesome. We're already half full, so we have a little bit of room left, and we're keeping the early bird special open until midnight tonight for you guys, because we have had some new members come into the group. So we want to give you guys the opportunity to attend as well. We're doing it on Zoom, so there should be no StreamYard, Facebook Live issues. Zoom is pretty concrete. And so that's why, we decided to do this training today, because we have so many new members in the group and so many people who are coming into the group saying that they're feeling overwhelmed. So I really wanted to share that with you. Okay, guys, I would love to do a meditation with you, but I think I'm going to save it for the workshop, because I have my beautiful sons outside banging on the door. There is a meditation for anxiety, so if you would like access to that one, just message me or message Rebecca or pop it into the comments. Yes, please, meditation for anxiety. We will get that link over to you ASAP. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you guys on Friday at the half-day workshop. I love you. Have an amazing day. Mwah.